Okay, so hey guys, and welcome to what I believe is the 22nd part in the F1 Manager Minardi Manager series, where we had an amazing performance in the last episode, obviously winning in San Marino around Imola, which was an amazing result and has put us now very high up in terms of the Drivers and Constructors Championship. So yeah, third, just 2 points behind McLaren, only 6 behind Ferrari, which is an amazing performance. But yeah, we got my home Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix, around Silverstone, with a lap record apparently by Michael Schumacher, no surprise there. That was that is on the 21st of April, so 2 weeks time again, as per usual, with a test day we're not going to do. So, yeah, I guess we'll just have to see if there's any more news between now and then. So, yeah, I'll see you guys then.
Welcome to Wednesday morning, and it's 9 o'clock for the morning view. And I can't believe it, it's just come in, and we'll get more on this in a minute. But the real statement of the morning is that Minardi have retracted their offer to sign Tora Takagi for the 2001 season, the upcoming season, after he suffered from a driver error in last weekend's San Marino Grand Prix. The Minardi boss, Stewart, stated, "After a driver error, we are really concerned. We have, by mutual consent, terminated the contract for 2001. That's the biggest story this morning. We'll have more later on, and hopefully a press conference with the Minardi boss, Stewart.
Okay, so thank you to Reviews TIJ for that news report we just saw there. So yeah, we had Takaki as our test driver, which is only because he initially wasn't doing too badly, and that's why I signed him as a test driver. Wasn't doing too badly, and obviously Williams saw here potential. But as I said in the last race, he retired with a driver error, or as Reviews TIJ said, he retired with a driver error, and I thought I've got to let him go, which you will have just seen, and that means we're going to have to get a new test driver, which obviously I will announce later on in the series, as well as with the new driver number 1, driver number 2, and technical director announcements, which I'll announce much later on in the season. But thanks to Reviews TIJ for that news report. The link to his channel will be in the description where there's lots of F1 content, so I'm sure you'll like his stuff. But anyway, we've had the news, Takaki gone, not going to be our test driver for next year. We'll have to find someone else. I've already got someone in mind, but I'll just have to sort that out in a second. But we have got some news. Magneti, Marelli, Electronic Salvo might be using them, and Stewart are going to using Peugeot engines, which is a very bad move for them. They've paid a lot of money for the second worst engines they can buy, which is atrocious, but Stewart seems to be going downhill, which is unfortunate for Jarno Trulli, to be honest, and whoever their other driver is. But Trulli's the one I feel most sorry for. Left the failing Prost team for Stewart, hoped he'd do well, and Stewart are now failing as well, so I do feel sorry for Trulli, to be honest. Yeah, so yeah, that's the news, and I'm just going to go and arrange a new test driver now. Okay, so I've just arranged the new test driver contract, which you'll find out much later in the series. All I can say is it's not Takaki. So yeah, I've arranged that. You'll see it much later in the series, like coming up to near the end of this season. But anyway, Neil Oatley's designed new barge boards because he's one of the best designers. Well, he's the second best designer. Well, okay, he's the joint best designer in the game, and second best in terms of researching and developing new parts. Like, to the point where, Mike Gascoigne, our technical director, can't actually keep up in terms of manufacturing. Has he made actually a new? You see, he's still short on front wings and rear wings. He just needs to make one more, but 16th of April, that will be in time for the race. So yeah, we'll finally be able to use the new front wings and rear wings, which were made before the San Marino Grand Prix, but unfortunately he didn't manufacture enough of them for us to be able to use them during that race. But how we came out alright during that race anyway. So there you go. But Neil Oatley, new barge boards. He probably won't manufacture enough of them in time for the race, but definitely the race after we had to use new barge boards. Okay, so Sauber have confirmed Magneti Marelli to be their electronic supply next year, and I'm going to have to do a straight cut from this screen because the other news that has popped up, the only other bit of news, is my test driver announcement, so I'll cut you on to the next bit of news just rather abruptly now. Okay, so we got some more rumours, and if you're wondering why I'm doing these straight cuts all over the place, it's because a subscriber said in a couple of parts back in the comments saying it was a bit annoying why I always how I always cut saying I'll see you guys then, and then cut to the next shot saying, you know, okay, hey guys. And you know, I understand, I can see why it's a bit annoying and a bit repetitive, so I'm changing the way I'm cutting this series, just in case anybody was wondering. But yeah, so Benetton are thinking about using mediocre electronics. Jordan are thinking about renewing their Ford Z-Tech engines, and I know they got a double podium with these engines, but I bet you if they had Buick and Honda engines like they got last year, they would have easily got a 1 and 2, but they're thinking about renewing that partnership, which would be mad. And Brembo brakes possibly for sale, which are the worst brakes. That'd be a bad move for them. And there you go. So we'll see if any more news comes in. Okay, so we got all of these rumours that we saw just previously. They've been confirmed. Yep. Oh god, Jordan, 21.7 million for the worst engines they can get. So they've paid even more. That's madness. They've paid more than we have for our Mercedes engines, and our Mercedes engines are infinitely times better than these are. Madness. Benetton arguably using Honda electronics now. Is the trio going to be complete with Sauber using Brembo brakes? Yes, there you go. So no surprise, it's exactly what we just saw previously. And there you go, actually, that's everything. So, once the race around, it's my home race personally as a team manager. It's our driver number 2's home race. It's... who else is it? It's our technical director's home race. It's our chief designer's home race. So, this is kind of like the team's second race, I suppose. I mean, actually, no, third home race, I suppose. Because obviously, Monza's obviously Minardi's home race. San Marino, you could argue, is their second home race. And with lots of their new foundations, obviously me, Neil Oatley, and Mike Gascoigne, and Damon Hill, all coming from England, this is almost like a home race for Minardi, but obviously not. But unfortunately, look at all the teams who are based here. Jordan, Williams, Stewart, Benetton, BAR, and McLaren, all based nearby. So I think we're going to be hammered. Because of all of those teams, so what are we talking? Every team bar Sauber and Ferrari. And Prost. Yes, I think that's just everyone apart from Ferrari, Sauber and Prost are based here. So I think they're just going to hammer all of us. Even though we've seen Ferrari domination, I think they're just going to wipe the floor with everyone. At least that's what I would expect. But we'll go see now. We'll see whether that's the case with the practice report. Or when they're not the practice report, but the practice news, if there is anything interesting, and if not, then the qualifying report. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, so hey guys, so we have seen actually 2 interesting things. Takaki, way down. This is why we didn't get him as a test driver, because look, he is 13th when his teammate is 2nd. That's why I've ditched him as a test driver. Screw that. If another team wants to pick him up, that's fine. I personally don't want anything to do with the guy. I've got someone else arranged who, hopefully, in fact I know, should be better than Takaki. But I'll tell you what is interesting, how an Arrows, Marc Genet, our former driver, because, you know, Minardi breed good talent, is just behind a McLaren. I mean, that's never really seen, apart from, I think, Monaco last year. You never really see an Arrows lining up just behind a McLaren in well, I was about to say 1999, but obviously this is kind of based off the 1999 season. Anyway, I'll take you on to the qualifying report now to see how we'll line up on the grid for tomorrow's race. Okay, so the British Grand Prix is already here this 2000 season, and it's much earlier on in the season than usual, but here in April we're already having the British Grand Prix, and in fact we've already had the qualifying session, so I'll take you through the results. Michael Schumacher is in first with another fairly dominant performance. Although he seemed to need all of his 12 laps, he did actually set a lap time a significant amount quicker than the person in second place, as Michael Schumacher was 7/10 of a second a lap faster than the second place man, which was Mika Salo. Just as we've seen in previous races, Mika Salo seemed to be putting his car at or near the front, and while he was told by team boss Piers Lutton to risk everything, he did still put in a very competitive lap and is actually ahead of the surprise for this session, which is Jacques Villeneuve in third place in the BAR. Now, Jacques Villeneuve is a former world champion, so his skill is undisputed, but BAR had been really underperforming up until this point of the season, and now seemingly Jacques Villeneuve has dragged the car and got it into a top 3 grid position. Ralf Schumacher is in 4th, not quite replicating his brother's dominant performance, but it's still a very good position for Ralf Schumacher and the Williams nonetheless. Damon Hill on the other Minardi is in 5th, setting a lap time 1.4 seconds slower than his teammate, which is quite abysmal, although during Damon Hill's only lap where he was told to risk everything, he was held up by a Sauber, as we can see here, which stopped Damon Hill on his only risk everything lap, and is probably why he isn't up with his teammate, as Mika Salo didn't have the same traffic problems. Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Jordan is showing how good of a car the Jordan really is, as Heinz-Harald Frentzen was able to finish 3rd last race, and with his teammate getting 2nd, Heinz-Harald Frentzen is out to prove that Jordan really mean business this year, despite the Ford Zetec engines, as Heinz-Harald Frentzen qualifies in 6th. The former McLaren driver David Coulthard is in 7th in the Benetton, with the Ferrari rookie Neil McEwen way off the pace of his teammate as he's down in 8th. Johnny Herbert's in 9th in the first McLaren, with Rubens Barrichello 10th in the Jordan, way off of his teammate. Fisichello's in 11th in the other McLaren, with Zanardi a fairly good finish for Sauber as he's in 12th. Takaki again is several places away from his teammate, and it's Takaki's dreadful performances that we've seen this season could be why we recently heard the news that Minardi team boss Piers Lutton pulled the plug on his offer to sign Takaki as Minardi's test driver next year. Jarno Trulli and the struggling Stewart is in 14th, with Jean Lacey in the other Benetton way off of his teammate in 15th. Pedro Diniz is the highest placed Prost in 16th, with Marc Genet paying in a very good performance for an Arrows in 17th, with Eddie Irvine, the former Ferrari driver, being way down the field in 18th. Ricardo Zonta is 19th in the Prost, with Wirtz way off of his teammate Zanardi, as Wirtz is down in 20th, although the biggest teammate gap is between Laurent Redon and Jacques Villeneuve, as while Villeneuve is in 3rd, Laurent Redon is down in 21st, and while Jacques Villeneuve is a former world champion and Laurent Redon is a rookie this year, it's still an abysmal performance. And Pedro de la Rosa takes up his usual position as being last in the grid for tomorrow's race, which is especially surprising as Pedro de la Rosa did more laps than anyone else bar Michael Schumacher on the grid, and how he still finished last is atrocious considering his teammate is way up in 17th. Okay, so hey guys, so that was the qualifying result. Oh, I've just realised I said okay, hey guys. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, I did say to that subscriber I will try and stop saying that all the time. So, I will try and get out the habit of doing that, but the crucial thing I want to clip is, well, we're finally able to use our new front wings and rear wings. Obviously, they were made in time for the San Marino Grand Prix, but Mike Gascoigne wasn't able to manufacture enough of them, which is quite disappointing to be honest, and I have already said I'm going to replace him next season, and with this performance, we definitely need to replace him for someone who's more capable at manufacturing parts. But the crucial thing, as well as the front wings and rear wings, well, there's only going to be one left for each now, that's a bit worrying. But the crucial thing is, was he able to make enough barge boards so we need... No, oh no, actually, that's irrelevant, because of course I didn't. No, because I didn't actually use them for qualifying anyway, and obviously if I use these new barge boards, it will mess up the setup for the race and make the car go slower. So of course I can't use them, although he only made 3 anyway, which I know is enough for the race, but not for qualifying and the race. So good thing we're going to be using the old ones, but we'll probably be using the new ones next race, much like with the front and rear wing situation. And then we got 2-stop strategy. Mikasa needs to pin a lap later, 1 more litre of fuel, and let's go. So I was told a couple of parts ago by some people that I need to put my drivers on push a bit more, so I'm putting Mika Salo on push and actually Damon Hill on push just for the first lap to see if they can like jump some positions off the start. We've actually missed the very start of the start, and Mika Salo is on push now. Can he get past Michael Schumacher? No, he wasn't able to. I've forgotten all the corner names of around Silverstone. Well, obviously this is Magnussen Beckett, and he's just on the back of Michael Schumacher, but he's not able to get past him. Damon Hill, he's still in 5th, so telling both our drivers to go on push really didn't help us, actually, to be honest. And Jarno Trulli up in 13th, just behind a McLaren. Yes, he is actually just behind the McLaren, so while he is struggling, and obviously he didn't score points last year in the Prost, and while he still hasn't scored any points in the Stewart, you know, he's up with McLaren. Because obviously McLaren are doing quite poorly this season. I mean, they're second in the Constructors, but you know, they won the Drivers and the World Drivers and Constructors Championship last year, and they're definitely not going to win the Drivers this year. That's sewn up by Schumacher. I mean, Mika Salo's in the running. I believe Johnny Herbert's actually not too far away, but you know, it's sewn up. And have we got? No, we didn't get past Schumacher, then, did we? And this is Takaki, I believe. No, it can't be. No, this is Ralf Schumacher on Jacques Villeneuve, and as Ralf Schumacher got past, and Damon Hill was actually thinking about making the same move on Ralf Schumacher that Schumacher was going to do on Jacques Villeneuve. And oh no, this is Takaki actually trying to make a move on, I believe, Jarno Trulli. Yeah, that's Jarno Trulli. And did he make the move? No idea. We didn't see. I assume not. I mean, Takaki, I signed him up as a test driver because I thought he showed promise when Williams signed him. But already, I know we're only into the start of the season, but already Takaki's doing dreadful. And I thought, you know, if I don't pull out his contract soon, I will have to have him or another rubbish test driver. And I actually want a decent test driver because next year is the year which we are genuinely going to be in hunt for the World Drivers and Constructors Championship. And we've done the first lap. Did Salo or Salo's still in second. I'll tell him to go on hold position because obviously minimise driver errors. Actually, he's only one second behind Schumacher. We're not seeing that much of a dominance actually from Michael Schumacher, but even if we go on push, there's no way we're going to overtake Michael Schumacher. I mean, we could pull away from Jacques Villeneuve, which we seem to be doing. What Damon Hill? Damon Hill, to be fair, is actually... Where's the onboard camera? I might keep on push for a bit longer. I don't want to keep him on it for too long, but some people did say you should tell your drivers to go and push a bit more, which is a fair point. I always just keep him in hold position, minimise driver errors, but just up till lap 5 tops. Just see if he can... If he can't overtake anyone by lap 5, then he's not going to overtake anyone at all, is he? He's still in 5th. Okay. Lap 5. Let's have an update. No, that's... Hang on, he's in 3rd. Whoa. Okay, the timing screens did not update there, actually. Damon Hill did get past Villeneuve and Schumacher. So, okay, Villeneuve is literally just behind. Now you see, I could keep him on push. If I put both drivers on push, then we could pull away from Villeneuve and Schumacher, as we've seen. But, you know, it maximises the risk of driver errors, and we're not going to catch her with Michael Schumacher. So we'll keep an eye on this. I might keep on putting on push from time to time. So, we'll see if actually we can legit hold 2nd and 3rd. I might wait until the pit stop periods though, because obviously BAR with their... Oh, Damon Hill's fallen down the field. How come Villeneuve's able to retain his position? Yeah, look, no, hang on. Salo's able to actually just about pull away from Villeneuve. Damon Hill not so much. Although maybe Damon Hill did hold up Villeneuve, which would be very nice, actually. It would be a very nice teammate thing to do, but he's still just behind the two of them. Right, well, we're sandwiching the two of them, so that's, I suppose, a good thing. As long as Salo's ahead, we could just tell Salo to hold, to ease off, and then Damon Hill could catch right back up. Because Michael Schumacher's in a race of his own, there's no point worrying about him. And he could easily fall behind Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Obviously, we saw the Jorns were much quicker than us in the last race. And Salo, Ralf Schumacher, yeah, this is the Schumacher show, isn't it? But look, already Ralf Schumacher's put out 2 seconds on us since he got past. There's no point to us. Jacques Villeneuve, I might actually try and put up a fight with him, because Jacques Villeneuve, I do think we are quicker than Jacques Villeneuve. Ralf Schumacher's, he's too good a driver and too good of a car. And everybody is going past Damon Hill. David Coulthard out of a driver error. I would not have expected that, actually. Obviously, former Jacques Villeneuve's got past. Right, we're going to sort this out. I believe we're coming in for a pit stop soon. Hang on. What's Mike Gascoigne doing? So Mike Gascoigne said, start the race with like 24 litres of fuel, whatever he said. But yet we're going to come in to the pits with 9 litres of fuel still left, which could easily, that could make us last like another 12 laps. And actually, in the ones that, once I looked back at the recording for the Imola episode, I did actually notice that we finished the race with a lot of fuel. So, I think Mike Gascoigne's not doing his maths properly. We're going to have to keep an eye out on this, whether Mike Gascoigne keeps on messing up his maths. So as that's yet another reason to ditch Mike Gascoigne in favour of a better technical director. But yeah, Mike Gascoigne is one of the most highly rated technical directors there are. And yeah, Neil McEwen's got past. He'll probably retire with a driver out at some point, so I won't worry about him. But it's also a way to us, once any Ferrari gets past, no matter who's driving it, we're not going to catch up. They've got too good of an engine, too good of a chassis. And I've let the situation go a bit mad here. You know what, screw it. Actually, I said I was going to try and put on push more often, screw it. I don't know, I don't see a situation at the minute where that might be useful, although we are just behind Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Actually, we seem to be on pace of him anyway. And we're just on the whole position. Right, I'll just leave it as we are for the time being, but okay, Mikasara's just in the points. No, Heinz-Harald Frentzen's pulling out a bit, hang on. 4 seconds. The problem is I never put it on push because I just don't want to risk having a driver error, and obviously with Mikasara in the points, we'd need points. Obviously, I mean, our place in the Constructors' Championship is safe, but still. And Heinz-Harald Frentzen looks like he went for his pit stop, so we didn't need to actually battle him anyway. Oh great, look at this. Oh, I haven't seen this before. Actually no, swap around Barrichello and Frentzen, and that's basically the Imola race. And what's happened? Salo's going up the positions a lot. I'm guessing other people are coming for the pits, although we're due for our pit stop soon. And Mika Salo, oh my god, Salo. Rubens Barrichello is just ahead of him. Oh no, I say just 9 seconds. It didn't look like that from where I was, but Johnny Herbert only 2 seconds behind. We'll have to keep an eye on that, because Johnny Herbert was in the running actually in the Imola Grand Prix. And again, something I noticed once watching the recording back, that Johnny Herbert could easily actually have taken second place rather than Barrichello, but Johnny Herbert retired during that race with a driver. I don't know. Something on his car failed, and we're just outside the points. Fisichella's out of a driver error, and I thought it was a good move for Fisichella to go to McLaren. Seemingly not, and we're just outside the points. Johnny Herbert's got past us, right? But to be honest, we're not in a points position anyway. Damon Hill, Takaki's ahead of Damon Hill. We'll just tell both our drivers to go and push. Definitely not risk everything. Well, actually, we're not going to go and risk everything unless it's a dire situation. But we aren't due for any more pit stops. I don't think anyone else will be. It's too late, really, for someone else to go to refuel. And both our drivers are on push. Runs by Callow, the driver errors. That promotes Sala up to 7th. Will he get any more points? Yes, actually. Thank you. I believe D-Man96, Red Bull, and maybe I think Reviews TIJ might have done as well. both suggested that I tell my drivers to push. Well, actually, it was a good suggestion because it's actually moving us up the field, possibly to get past Heinz Alfrence as well. And Damon Hill's up from 11th to 9th. And Mika Salo's actually in 4th. How far away is Villeneuve? 11 seconds. We'll tell him to push, just in case Villeneuve eases off for some weird reason. Neil McEwen's out of an engine failure. Don't tell me... Okay, so it's one of these situations where there's a clear driver number 1 and a clear driver number 2. And the driver number 2, coincidentally, always has the unreliable car. It's Vettel and Webber all over again, really. You know, Webber always had the unreliable car, always. And Damon Hill's not too far away from the points. Both Schumachers are finished, because, you know, this is the Schumacher show. They are dominating it. How far away from Villeneuve? We're not going to catch him up in time. Hang on, is Villeneuve being held up by his teammate? No. Yes, actually, yeah, that looks like Villeneuve is being held by his teammate. And Damon Hill, 30 seconds away from Heinz Alfrence. Look, we're finishing the race with 17 litres of fuel. Mike Gascoigne is 20 litres on Mika Salo. Mike Gascoigne is seriously messing up this mess. But we've gone around the final corner. I believe that's Luffield the final corner is. I might well be wrong, but Mika Salo's finished in 4th. That's good points to him. Damon Hill just outside the points. So, though, to be fair, with Mike Gascoigne screwing us over in the race, obviously he's putting in too much fuel, which makes our pit stops longer and obviously slows us down when we're on track. I'm going to blame him for finishing down there. Zanardi, I think, has finally proven himself as a good driver. Actually, to us, I think this race is actually... I think what this race has done is shown who's genuinely a good driver. Salo's clearly better than Hill. Villeneuve's clearly better than Redon. Zanardi's clearly better than Wirtz. Johnny Herbert's clearly better than Fisichella. So, you know, I think this race has really shown... Normally it's Monaco who shows who's the best driver, but this race, I think, really has actually put some boundaries between teammates. Obviously, Schumacher and Takaki. Don't care about Takaki, he's gone. But Salo's picked up 3 valuable points. That'd be, I think, 900 grand prize money, as well as 3 points to the team, as well as 3 points for Mika Salo's Drivers' Championship. Obviously, Michael Schumacher got 10, but thank you, actually, to DMAD96 and whoever else suggested I tell my drivers to push, because actually it was really helpful. So I'm going to make sure I do that a lot more often now. And Genet, yeah, again, Genet. Minardi talent, outpacing Arrows talent. So, yeah, there you go. It's really has shown a gap between teammates. What happened to Trulli? Suspension failure. Just, I really do actually feel sorry for Trulli. He's one of the few drivers who started in 1999 and still hasn't scored points. I believe he's on to still hasn't scored points. And who... Oh yeah, Olivier Panis, but he's a test driver this year, so he actually can't. And obviously Marc Genet hasn't, and obviously Pedro De La Rosa hasn't, but what can you do? Genet had chances last year, but we saw he kept on messing them up. Here we have Ferrari win at Silverstone. That's great. Jean Todd's happy, I bet he is. Deserves to be. Mike Gascoigne, yeah mate, you kept on screwing us over, so thanks a bunch. With you and your miscalculating fuel. Keep an eye on that. Neil Oatley. Okay, it seems to be a tech race between us and Ferrari, so we have the most advanced everything apart from chassis, which we already know about, suspension and side pods. So there you go. And Stefano Domenicali, 900 grand prize money from the FIA. So we're actually doing very well financially, which is good because we got very expensive. Well, Mika Salo's cheap because he was out of contract, but Damon Hill was a bit expensive. Oh no, Frezza. We need to make sure we renew Frezza's contract when they offer that in the next part. What am I doing? What am I looking for? This. Yeah, Damon Hill's the most expensive person. Support staff are expensive because we got a lot of designer assistants. Total bonuses. I think we must pay someone every time we win a race, and obviously we won in Imola. So we pay 100 grand bonuses, obviously staff morale, that's always good. But Mercedes-Benz, look, expensive engines. Good thing we're keeping these prize money. We've made a profit of 1.2 million already this season. That's always good. But anyway, next part is Spain. Obviously, we saw the test day we did alright. Where did we come 4th in the test day? And bearing in mind, we had Owain Green as our test driver, and obviously McLaren had Olivier Panis. Ferrari had Luca Badoa, you know. But he's clearly a proven good driver, as we saw last season. So, 4th in the test day, I won't read too much into it, bearing in mind we had, I believe, the worst test driver there. So, and with 2 of the 3 cars ahead of us having former race drivers as their test drivers, we should be able to put up a good fight here. At Catalonia, my 2nd or 3rd favourite track on the calendar. 2nd or 3rd, it's one of my favourites anyway. And hopefully, in the Spanish sun, we can do well, score some more points like we have at my home race at Silverstone. So, I'll see you guys for the next race around Catalonia. So I'll see you guys then. Actually, hang on, just before I do that, update on the championships, just forgot, Mika Salo is still 2nd ahead of Ralf Schumacher, and Johnny Herbert still 4th, which is surprising for him. Damon Hill's now falling down the field. Yeah, so there you go, Schumacher's got more than double the points of his nearest contender, the drivers. That's astounding. Constructors, we're still 3rd actually, joint with McLaren. Now that is interesting actually. Driver McLaren 2 ahead of Williams. Well, we've got 6th place in the constructors, so not playing. Where's 6th? So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Yeah, we're easy. And then manager, I'm rated the best manager. Oh, well there you go. So clearly the work we're doing apparently outshines the Ferrari dominance. I don't quite see how. I think it's maybe because Minardi were terrible last year and we dragged them up to be good, whereas Jean Todt just made a good team even better, with Paul Stewart, I suppose rightly so to be fair, rated the worst manager, because Stewart were, for the most part of the season last year, the best of the rest. I think Jordan ended up getting 3rd in the constructors, but Stewart were a really good team, and they got 2 solid drivers there, but I think it's just their engines, Peugeot engines, letting them down, and obviously that's Paul Stewart's fault. So yeah, anyway, yeah, Spain, I've already said, brilliant race, one of my favourites. Spanish sun, hopefully we could do well there, as we have done at Silverstone. So I'll see you guys then.